a great forest lived a poor woodcutter and his wife, and 2 children. The boy's name was Hansel, and the girl's was Gretel. They lived very poorly, and sometimes could not even get their daily bread. One night, the woodcutter sighed heavily and said to his wife, "What will become of us? We can't feed our children." "I tell you what, husband. We will take the children into the forest early in the morning, light a fire, give each of them a piece of bread, and leave them there." She was their stepmother, and she did not like them. The woodcutter did not agree for a long time, but finally he gave in to his wife's pleas. But the children overheard this conversation and became very frightened. But Hansel was the older brother, and he decided to reassure Gretel. "Don't worry, we'll think of something." And he gathered in his pockets the little white flints that lay in front of the house. In the morning, the stepmother woke the children and gave each of them a piece of bread for the journey. And they went with their father into the forest to collect firewood. All the way, Hansel took a pebble from his pocket and threw it on the road to mark the way. When they reached the middle of the forest, their father told the children to make a fire and rest, and he went away unnoticed, leaving them in the forest. The children ate their bread, warmed themselves by the fire, and fell asleep, and when they awoke it was night, and Gretel cried and said, "Wait a little longer until the moon rises, and then we will easily find our way home." And when the moon was full, Hansel took his little sister by the hand and walked along the road where the flint stones glittered like silver and showed them the way. And so they returned home. The stepmother was angry, of course, but the father was glad that the children had found the way, for he loved them. Time passed, but the family did not live better. They did not even have enough money for food. Then one day, the stepmother again made the father take the children into the forest and leave them there. Only this time, Hansel had no time to pick up the stones. So he took the bread his stepmother had given him and began to scatter the crumbs behind him, marking the way back. And everything repeated itself as it had the last time. Only when the children tried to find their way home by following the trail of breadcrumbs, they discovered that the bread had been pecked by forest birds and stolen by field mice. They wandered through the woods for a long time and finally saw a beautiful snow-white bird sitting on a branch, singing so sweetly that they stopped to listen. When the bird finished, it spread its wings and flew ahead of them, and they followed it until they came to a little house. As they approached, they saw that the house was made of bread, and the roof was covered with cakes, and the window was made of clear sugar. "We'll take some of that, and make ourselves a fine meal. I'll have some of the roof, Gretel, and you have some of the window. It'll be delicious. It turned out that there was a wicked witch in the house who had been spying on the children and had deliberately built a tasty house to lure them in. She grabbed Hansel and locked him in the little barn. Then she took Gretel and said to her, "Lazy Bones, get some water and cook something nice for your brother. He's outside in the barn, and he needs to be fattened up. And when he's fat enough, I'll eat him." And so Gretel took delicious and fat food to Hansel so that he might become fat. Weeks went by, and Hansel didn't get any fatter, so the witch decided it was time to eat him anyway. And since the old woman decided that she could not get enough of Hansel alone, she ordered Gretel to go into the oven first. But Gretel decided to trick the witch and show her how to get into the oven. "Silly goose, the hole is big enough, see? I can get in myself." And she bent down and stuck her head in the mouth of the oven. Then Gretel pushed her further in, closed the iron door behind her, and put up the bolt. How terribly she howled! But Gretel ran away, leaving the wicked witch to burn in agony. Gretel let Hansel go, and they ran away from the witch's house. They were lucky. They met some woodcutters they knew in the woods, and they showed them the way to the house. Then they ran to the house, rushed through the door, and fell on their father's neck. He had not had a quiet hour since he had left his children in the forest and his stepmother dead. Hansel and Gretel took out of their pockets the jewels they had found in the cottage of the evil witch. Then all their troubles ended, and they lived together in great joy.